Alright, so today's topic of this video is going to be, again, 5.1, multiplying and dividing common bases. This is chapter 5.1. And we have already done two sections of this. We've done these. That was in a previous video. We've done these. That was in a previous video. And now we're going to do applications of exponents. So we kind of talked about applications back in our first video. We're going to go again to talking about just the applications of the exponents. Remember, this is our terminology that we're going to have to really remember. For exponents especially, we've got a base to the nth power. B is our base, so there's our base. The exponent is n, and this really just means b times b times b dot 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 times b, and all these together, all these multiplied together are, you multiply b, the base, together n times. So that's our just kind of definition of what b to the nth power is, and what an exponent is, what a base is, and what an exponent is. So let's go back. We've gone through some of this stuff. We've gone through some of this stuff, and we're going to go just fast forward to our applications. So here's our applications. A couple of different things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about just two different things real quickly. One is simple interest calculation. So if we're going to talk about the applications, we've got simple interest and compound interest, and these are just two applications. Simple interest is going to not include exponents. So if we take a look at simple interest, that would be something like on a yearly savings account. If they annualize or compound the interest yearly, this would just be something that would be calculated pretty quickly, succinctly. I is our interest that we get. P is the principal that we start with, the amount of money that we deposit into a bank, let's say. R is the interest rate as a decimal. T is the time that we put it in years. It's always going to be in years. So this we're really not going to be concerned about too much right now, not in this application, because this application, this chapter, we're talking about exponents. So this has no exponents in it. This would be simply just a multiplication. The interest would be P times R times T, and there's our interest that we get. The compound interest, though, that we get, that we're going to calculate, here's compound interest is what we're going to talk about, because compound interest talks about using this formula here, including that to the tth power. Here's our exponent that we're going to talk about. So a compound interest is something that you get from the bank. Usually it's from the bank. But it could be from any bonds or stocks that you own, things like that. So compound interest on savings accounts, again, interest is added to the account from the bank or from the company that you've bought the security from, and it's added to your account every period. In other words, every month, every quarter, semi-annually, annually, something like that. And that would be the period that we've got. These words are not so important right now, but right now we're just going to worry about using this formula as an application of our exponential equation. So let's try and find out what the amount A, the amount total that you're going to have in your account at the end of 3 years, with a starting principal of $1,000 and an interest rate of 8%. So let's kind of take a look at some of these things. The 3 years is going to be our T time, because T has to be in years. $1,000 is going to be our starting principal, so there's our P, and 8% is our interest rate, but remember the interest rate has to be in decimal form, so this is going to be 0.08. So we're going to try and evaluate this formula using all these variables. So let's take a look at, again, our formula. A equals P times 1 plus R to the tth power. So now it's important to remember that in this formula that I just copied down again, we have to pay attention to things that are not exponential and things that are exponential. So up here, if we take a look at the exponential term, the 1 plus R to the tth power is an exponential. It's a base. 1 plus R is our base. T is our exponent. So the T acts on the 1 plus R, and when we calculate that, we'll have to take that tth power only to the 1 plus R amount. So let's fill in some numbers. We still don't know what A is, so we'll have to say A equals P. We know P. P is the $1,000, so we just write down $1,000 times 1 plus R. There's 1 plus R. Our R is over here. R is 0.08. and that is to the tth power. The t is 3 years. T is time. So there's our third power. Now we can just go and simplify a little bit more. Now we've got a equals 1,000 times 1.08 to the third power. And that third power right there, that third power is only going to be acting on the base. And our base is 1.08. So now to calculate this, I'm gonna encourage you to take pause the video now and figure out in your own mind with your calculator what the answer to this equation is. So pause your calculator or pause the video now, do some calculations and see what number you come up with and see if you come up with the same number that I get. Alright, so now that you've got your answer, I will take out my calculator and say, again, we write down what A is. Let's go up and put down A. A equals, again, if we're solving an equation, try and write down everything in the equation, and I try to, again, keep things in columns just so you kind of follow what's going on with each thing that you're filling in. I've still got my 1,000 because we haven't changed that at all. 1.08 to the third power is going to be 1.08 to the third power. If you're using your calculator, I got 1.2597, etc. And that's what I got for 1.08 to the third power, because the third power acts only on the 1.08, does not act on the 1,000. We multiply that later on. So now the next step is we've got 1,000 times 1.0 to the third power is 1.2597, and that gives us an answer of 1,259.70 at the end of 3 years. And that's the answer that I've got. If you don't have that answer, double check your work. Go back and double check to make sure you took the 1.08 to the third power, pushed equals, and then multiplied by 1,000, pushed equals, and that's the answer that you should get. Any questions? Let's go over them in class.